ugh, I wish I could do it in my living room, but
Maybe someday.
there's a man in there, so I can't be in there.
Recent Instagram content creator, husband
Dude,
Nick.
he is so into this right now. Who knew he had such a brain for content creation? All he's been doing today is like coming up with new like content ideas.
He's gonna overshadow us. He's gonna
He's like,
become more
"Oh, you
popular
know
than
what we
we
should
are.
do?" He's like, "You know what we should do? We should like take videos of me like reenacting all of like the like cringy things that drivers do. Like I should do Pierre's like ball reaction challenge and stuff." And I'm like, "Oh my god, like I didn't know that you were like into this. You know, all we had to do was get him his own Instagram." He's literally filming a TikTok right now or filming content right now of
I'm
our Christmas tree.
screaming. I'm screaming.
I'm like,
Let's see
get
how
him
long this
ready.
lasts. He's got the gumption now. Can
I
he
know.
handle posting every single day?
No, but the thing is he doesn't have to because this is not
That's
something
true.
that he's doing this for the fun, for the good times. It's
We've
like he
been
said,
there.
I'm like I'm literally going to the I'm like putting on makeup before this, to make myself not look ill. And all I just keep hearing this same TikTok over and over, which usually means that he's asleep.
Hmm.
But it's just like, hey, like you American or you use Christmas trees in Germany, right? And someone's like, oh, you know, but in America, you guys put your Christmas trees up so early. It's like the day after Thanksgiving, your Christmas trees up over and over. And I'm like, he really loves this clip. Like he's just like watching. It's either he's asleep and it's just like on loop, or he's watching like all the videos with that sound. And I'm like, this isn't even like a funny sound. Like I don't know what
Yeah.
like what the different videos could look like for this sound. I come out and he's just like at our Christmas tree. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're filming something. Like you're not watching content about this, you're creating the content about this. Got
I
it.
love it.
I'm like,
I
okay.
love it so much.
I literally walk out and he's like, I'm like, so sorry.
Quiet on set. Quiet on set.
Interrupting. I'm interrupting. He's like, have fun podcasting. I'll be creating content over here. And I was like, okay, good luck. He's
I
like,
love
so
him.
into it. He's like, I can't wait to update my 113 followers. You like should
You
have
know
seen
what?
him trying to figure out his bio last night.
Hmm.
Oh my god. It was like, it took 2 hours. And he was like, "Oh, should I do proud father of a 13-day-old mullet?" And I was like, "You know that means you're gonna have to literally update it every day." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, today we
Worth it
wake
for
up.
the bit.
Literally today we wake up," and he goes, "Gotta update my bio." I was like, "Okay." He like literally
Nick
loves
is a star. We got to use
it. A
that
star in the making. It's
the
like
TikTok audio
hysterical.
of from the Netflix or whatever movie Pearl where she's like, "I'm a star." That's Nick.
Literally. That's him. He's like so into it. I was like, you can make your bio something like proud father of a mullet cut by Valtteri Bottas and then put like the date, like or if you want, like so you don't have to like keep doing this all the time. And he was like, no, I want to do it every
He
day. And I
said,
was like,
"Be
okay.
quiet, woman." Every
So
day. He said,
every day.
this is my Instagram page. I don't know if you heard
Yeah.
that it's husband Nick. It's not
And he was
TG1F.
like,
It's Nick.
and I mean, if anyone knows anything about Nick, it's that he can hold a streak. He can like keep a streak going. He's on day like 890 something of Duolingo Italian. So like
Yeah.
this man will have
Well,
he
what?
will
He's gonna
keep that
keep his
streak
mullet
going.
forever? Okay, that means he can't cut it.
Oh my god, you're so right. Like commit to the bit, Nick. If
Commit
you're
to the
gonna do
bit,
this,
Nick.
all right, you wanted to commit to the bit. You have to commit to the bit. The mall is your thing now. Surprise! It's your new love forever.
Oh, I'm dead. Well, I'm happy that
Also,
he's happy and his creative energy, his creative juices are flowing.
they're
He's
flying.
primed and ready to create and entertain during the off season. So you guys won't want to miss
Yeah,
that content.
no, you won't. He's like so psyched now too. He's like, oh, when we're talking to teams about getting into the paddock. Like now I'm a content creator to be in there too. He's like, I'm not a plus one anymore. I'm a value add.
He said, "I'm working for my meal." He said,
Yeah,
"I'm
he's like,
bringing value."
I was like, you know what you should do? Like, you got to just start like posting all like the influencer and the wild content of us, but like
Mhm.
behind the scenes of the behind the scenes. Like Nicole and I create behind the scenes F1 content, and you create the behind the scenes of the behind the scenes content. So like that's an extra value add for people like in the
Nick said,
paddocks.
"Work
Like
smarter,
gotta
not
be
harder."
yeah. So I'm like, you gotta like start doing that. And he's like, the amount of content I have on my phone of you and Nicole being
Well,
influencers.
he's already posted 3 photos today. I'm like, "Wow, he's
He was
cruising."
literally, he was like, I think I have to fill out the whole top row, right? Like it looks bad if I don't. He was like, so he's like, I mean, and it was funny because it was like the first one, obviously he made a collab post with us because he was like,
Mhm.
I was like, you should make us a collaborator on it, whatever. And then the
Yeah.
next one was of his mullet, and so he didn't make us collab on that. And then he posted like a really cute Monza reel and was like, I didn't add you as a collaborator. I wanted to save you from having
I
to get all
don't
the notifications from it.
I don't think he should have to add us for a collab on everything. Like, I think he's his
No, I
own
know, but it was
brand.
I was like, I would have wanted that on ours. Like, it was, like, really it was, like, so cute.
It
It
was
was, like,
cute. It
so
was
fun
really
of us in
cute.
Monza. I was like, who knew? Because he had talked about that. Like, he filmed all that content specifically to make
Mhm.
that reel in Monza, like, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4 months ago. Who knew, though? All we had to do was get him his own Instagram, and then he would actually make it. He's been talking about making content for years. All he had to do was have a place to post his own stuff. He's like, "This
He
is
is he's
by
an
me."
employee, he's a contractor of TG1F, so
It was
he's
like, you guys aren't gonna be fucking using my content on your page taking credit. It'll be on my page because I creative directed this. So funny.
well, good for
Also, I was
him.
dying because he obviously was posting all those like Twitter DMs and stuff and like had to put
Mhm.
in like emo photos of me. So annoying. I blow dried my hair today because I was like, I have to podcast tonight, so I have to I gotta take a shower. I have to like be clean.
Get it together. Yeah.
And my hair was just like falling really flat, and I was like, oh, it's gonna get really flat by the time we record. So I like put it back like the front layer so that they wouldn't like fall
Mhm.
as much. And
Mhm.
like throughout the day it would like kind of fell a little bit, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, I have
Side
my like
bang central.
I have my snooky poof. And I was like, did you ever do that where you would like take your hair here and like clip it and like make the bump
Uh,
at like your hair?
yeah, I can't say no because
It
people
was
will
like my
call
daily
me out on
style.
that, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it on the regular.
It was my daily style. Once I decided I was over the side bangs, like while my
Mm,
bangs were growing out, and I like couldn't just have them be like
okay.
what they were, so I had to like clip them up. And I was wearing a today, and I was like, I'm too in on my like 2000s bullshit right now. I have to stop. So that's
Oh,
where I'm
I'm
at.
dead. You're struggle bus, but I'm happy to see your face. I'm happy to hear your voice. It's been a full over a week
Over a week, yeah.
since I've
I feel like I've snapped in the Snapchat group a couple times, but I'm like, I have nothing new to report. Like every time I snap,
yeah
I'm like, "Me in bed still. What's up?"
yeah.
Like I was like that for a while. I was like, I'm done. I'll just contribute textually, not with my face.
Well, like you said, through hell or high water, you are here today. You are
I'm on
recording.
so much medication right now. Like,
You are
I
here.
spent
We're ready to podcast.
$113 last week on cold meds. Gone.
Wow.
Gone.
So you're
I got
really, yeah,
I got
you're really hurting.
Robitussin daytime, Robitussin PM, Dayquil, NyQuil, Theraflu daytime, Theraflu nighttime. I got the emergency vitamin C packets, and I got what else? I got something else. And Afrin.
Mm.
Everything's gone except for the Afrin because that would be like so concerning if I was done with that. That's supposed to last for like a year. You're not supposed to use it more than like
More
3
than
days.
3 days.
Don't tell anyone. But wait, last night I was like, Nick, this will be my fourth night using Afrin, like, but I really need it. Like, I'm like so stuffed up. And he was like, okay, well, how many times have you used it? And I was like, the past 3 nights before bed. Because I try to keep myself like off it during the day, and then I just do it at night when I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to be able to breathe through my
Yeah.
nose. I'm a closed mouth sleeper. Like, I
Yep.
can't breathe through my mouth. I hate it. And so he was like, okay, well, he's looking at the directions and he's like, it says don't use more than 3 days in a row. But also, he's like, the directions say to use it like twice a day. He's
Okay,
like,
so
if you've
we're
taken it,
elongating
yeah, he's like, if you've taken it
loopholes.
3 nights in a row, technically, but you've only taken it once a day, technically, you've only used it for a day and a half.
Yeah,
I was like, I have three more
technically.
uses. I have 3 more uses. So I got to use last night and I did use it like an hour ago so that I would be able to like not
Talk and
sound
breathe.
like
Yeah.
the Mucinex monster
Yeah.
during this. So we're here. We're surviving. We might not be thriving, but we are surely surviving.
And you know what? That's okay because we are entering our rest and relaxation era.
Yeah.
We are wrapping up the
We
2023
made it.
Formula One season. We've made it.
I really didn't know if we were
And
going to.
it was
Like,
touch and go there for a minute. It
it was
was
touch
real
and
touch and
go.
go.
We were in Vegas. We were like halfway through Vegas, and I was like, I like truly don't know if I'm making it out of here alive. And I barely did.
But for everyone who's listening, maybe this is your first time, maybe it's not. Welcome
Welcome.
to TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole. I'm Nicole,
My name's Kate. And we're your
and we're your
hosts.
hosts.
This is our damn show. And we talk about F1 and whatever the fuck else we want to. Because guess what? That's
Amen.
our prerogative.
It's our business.
It's our
It's our
business.
business.
Me and Nicole have
And
been in very
so,
spicy moods since Thanksgiving. So get ready for it.
yeah, who knows
Are
what
you
we're
ready
gonna
for
say
it?
on today's episode, but
We're in
I'm
vacation
excited
era.
to
It's our
chat.
vacation season. Are you ready for it?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have an action-packed show for you today because we
Action
have a
packed.
little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of
Another thing.
stuff here and there.
A little bit of
We
just a sprinkling of things.
stuff. But today we are going to hear from our new best friend, Niia, who we had the pleasure of hosting on our podcast and getting to know while we were in the paddock with Alfa Romeo. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear that
So
conversation.
fun.
She's truly, truly amazing. And I know she's gonna like absolutely blow the fuck up.
Oh
So
yeah.
you guys better get in on the ground level because one thing about Kate and I, we know good business. So Nia's the best. You're gonna love our conversation with her. But before we kick that off, let's dive into some F1 stuff.
Let's do it. So, final race of the season. Abu Dhabi was this weekend. Won't lie to you, I didn't watch it. I did
Me either.
have
I
a.
slept through it, and I was like, I woke up and I turned on F1 TV on my phone. And I said, "Max is in first. I'm going back to bed."
I set an alarm to be able to watch it, and I was like, oh, I have 20 minutes until it starts. And then I was like, maybe I'll catch the replay because I was still in like the throes of my like illness. And I was just like, I
Yeah,
can't possibly get out of bed right now. Um, and then Nick watched it. So he told me about it. And he was like, you didn't really miss anything. He's like, what do you think happened? And I was like, well, let's see. Max probably
if
won.
I had to guess,
If I had to guess, Max won. Charles didn't convert to a win. Never does. So probably P2 or P3, and probably Checo also up there. And he was like, honestly, so close, like so close. So yeah,
it's
that
okay.
was that. But
I'll
I didn't
say
watch it.
what
I
if
don't think we need to talk about the race itself because
no.
I don't care. It's
Yeah.
over
Also,
now.
I feel like Abu Dhabi was just kind of meh. Did they do a Secret Santa this year? I feel like we didn't even get
They
that. Like,
did. They
is
did
it not out
because
yet?
Joe got there was like a photo circulating and it was like, wonder who had Joe. And it was he had Valtteri's naked calendar. So it's like,
I
obviously.
just
But I think that's the only thing I've seen of it. But they don't usually put it out
you're
until
right. They don't do it out until like kind of closer to Christmas.
I think they usually do the swap at Abu Dhabi and
Yeah.
then like they like cut it together afterwards and put it out as like a little Christmas treat. But I think they did it. I hope they did
I
it.
don't
We
know.
love
I'm Max won. Congratulations. Checo came in second. Congratulations.
I feel like Abu Dhabi was the like sneaky celeb hotspot this year. Like I feel like there
It
were more
was.
celebrities in Abu Dhabi than there were in Vegas,
I
which I
agree.
was surprised about.
I agree. We had the whole Hemsworth family.
The whole thing, even
We
the bonus.
had yeah, the bonus Jonas. We had Priyanka. No Nick though, probably because he's on
Thank God.
tour. We
Yeah.
had
No offense, but
who
Nick
else?
and Priyanka together in the paddock would have been absolutely insufferable.
So true.
Can't
100%.
have that.
We had Naomi Campbell.
But they were
We
gonna say Naomi Schiff. I
had
was like, obviously.
no, was she there this weekend?
Naomi Schiff? I think
Yeah.
so.
But I feel like the stars were
They were
out
out.
for Abu Dhabi,
You know what I
which I
was
mean makes
surprised
sense.
about
Tell
Vegas?
me.
Like, I was surprised that there was not as many celebrities in
Yeah.
Vegas.
I mean,
Like,
well,
I
we
get
were
that I didn't
obviously
think
the big
oh,
hitters, so
there.
like who could compare?
But like the thing is that Vegas is so close to LA that most of the time, like any celebrities that go to Vegas, like if they live in LA, they just take their private jets and like are there for the night. Like they don't even stay over. Through my illness, I have been watching the Kardashians and catching up. And for Kim's birthday, they were like, "We're going to an Usher concert in Vegas," and so they like got on her plane and they're like, "We'll get there, we'll have dinner, we'll go to the concert, and then we'll get back on the plane and go home." And I was like, that's literally like a quick night out on the town with the girls, but like in a
Mhm.
different state, which is crazy. But I was like surprised that not more celebrities did that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like Miami, there was like this whole thing of like all the private jets that were in Miami, and it was like so crazy and all this stuff. And I just feel like that was not the case in Vegas this year, which was like
Maybe
surprising,
timing was not great for everyone for Vegas.
I guess. Yeah. Just kind of weird to me.
Maybe.
Just something that
Yeah.
I expected it to be a huge, huge like I expected like the entire paddock to only be celebrities. But it felt like there just weren't that many. I don't
Yeah.
know.
They need their beauty sleep. They can't stay
Yeah.
up that late.
So true. You're so right for that.
All right. I don't really care about Abu Dhabi. I'm over it. I want
I
to talk about
literally
things that
don't at
are
all.
I want to talk
Like
about things that are more important to me, like Michael Italiano
leaving
leaving.
F1
And you guys know that we have chatted extensively about
extensively.
what we believe to be beef between Michael Italiano
I mean, at this
and
point,
Daniel Ricciardo.
barely even fair to say allegedly. Like it's there, it has to be real.
It has to be real.
Like, he didn't mention
We
Danny once in his, like, Instagram post about leaving, it was only about Yuki, and I'm like, the only reason you're in F1 to begin with
yeah,
is
the
to
only
be
reason
with
you're
Danny.
fucking here. Yeah.
Like, Danny didn't say anything,
Um
he never said anything about Danny coming back, I don't know, it's all, like, obviously something happened, so I don't even
something went
feel the need
down.
to say allegedly, for, like,
Yeah, you're
allegedly.
right. You're right. But Michael Italiano was leaving, and now we can speculate that the PR spin on this is that he is going off on his own. He is, going to start his own venture, whatever the fuck he's going to do. Or we can speculate that Danny said he has to go.
"You're out, bitch."
You have to go. There's the door, bitch. You're
It's, like,
gone.
so crazy for me because, like, I forgot. Like, I forgot that Yuki and Danny were teammates, and so they were, like, on the same team. Like, the fact that we have not seen them together at all, and they're on the same team, like, that is the crazy I, like, literally forgot about it
They're
until,
like
like
barely ever, they barely like
yeah,
do anything together.
because I was like, "Oh," like, some people are like, "Oh, it's like Danny said that Michael has to go." Danny said and I was like, "They're not even, like, close to each other in the paddock, like, why would they even say that?" And I was like, "Oh my god, no. They're on the same team." I literally forgot that's how much I, like, have put this out of
Danny
my brain.
said he went to Christian. He said, "Daddy, I need him gone. I need him
If you
gone.
want to keep
If
me,
you
it's
want
either
me to
me
perform,
or it's him.
you got to tell Yuki to fire Michael." It just cracks me up. It just cracks me the fuck up because I'm kind of a Mike, not kind of. I'm a Michael Italiano hater. I feel like
He's
there's
been
so much internet drama around him. There's so much, just as a Daniel Ricciardo lover, obviously I saw what he did to my man last season. Not a fan. So Michael, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
you tell him.
I'll,
You
I'll
fucking
tell
tell
him.
him. Can't wait to see what his new venture is that he says
I
he's doing.
know. We'll be watching. We'll be
We
watching
also
and
do have,
commentating.
though, a, like, trainer exodus because
Yes.
Max's trainer is also leaving. And I would
Mhm.
just like to say this is a bad sign for everyone. This is a bad sign for every single person on the grid right now because Max's trainer did not do anything. That man did not push. That man said, "Let's do some light Pilates today, Max. Let's do some like aerobics." He was like, "Let's get in the pool with other like some old people, and we're just gonna do some water aerobics today, and
We're gonna
that's
maybe
gonna
do
be your work.
Zumba.
Maybe we'll go on a light jog. Like we're not doing much." And that man still won almost every single race this season. Think about if he gets a real trainer
You guys
that's gonna
better be
like
shaking in your boots. Max
shaking
is
their
showing up with a
fucking
fucking
boots.
12 pack next season with
I
his
am
new
afraid
trainer.
everyone should be afraid. Max is in the gym doing like a Carlos workout, and you wait for him to get strong and get like abs of steel. Please, no one stands a fucking
Please.
chance.
Please.
Christian said, Max, you did good this year. You did good, kid. We want better. We want absolute fucking perfection. We want an
He
absolute.
said
We want to
a
sweep
sweep of a
every
season.
single race you're winning. So we gotta get you in shape. You're getting a new trainer. Surprise. And
But
I'm just
apparently,
saying, everyone should be scared. Everyone should be very afraid.
yeah, be afraid, be very afraid. But the real
Be very
reason I
afraid.
heard that Max's trainer is leaving is just timing. He's got a young kid, and I think
Yeah,
he's stepping away to spend more time with his family, which I
a
don't blame
likely
him.
story.
But so we'll see who fills those very big shoes for Max in the coming season, and also who's going to train Yuki, because I feel like they're both Yuki and Max are people who don't train at all and don't like to train at all. So like the two people who probably need it the most, how are their trainers are leaving.
It's really funny. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what happens there. Yuki's just gonna absolutely like con his way into not having a trainer. He's like, I
He's
don't
gonna
need
be like,
it.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't need it. He's like,
I'm
I'll use
dead.
Danny's. I'll just train with Danny because I haven't seen Danny like training at all. So I'm like, does Danny even have a trainer this year? Who knows?
No one had a trainer this year. No one was training.
No one
Carlos
was
was the
training.
only one who was in the gym and he was doing it himself.
And Charles doing his weird like 24 hours at training camp with me.
All right. Also out of Abu Dhabi, we have our part 2 Last Supper photo.
Oh my
We
god.
had
We have to
Joe
break it
was the one who gave us the goodies this
up. I'm bringing
year.
it up.
And we had a lot of commentary in the DMs about this because people were like, why isn't everyone on the grid? Who's taking the photo? Why are people sitting next to the people that they're sitting next to? Were the rookies not invited? Where is McLaren? There's a lot of things that we could pull
There's a lot of
out from
questions.
that photo. A lot of questions. Not sure if we have a lot of answers for you. But one thing that Kate and I do really well is we just make shit up.
It's
So
what we
we're going
excel
to
at.
hypothesize on what we think happened in this photo.
All right. Let's start with what we know. What we
Let's
know.
start with what we know.
What do we know here? We know that I'm going to name the people that are in the photo. All right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to do it by team. So,
We've got one half of Aston Martin. We've
one
got
half of
Lance.
Aston Martin.
We've
We've
got
got
one
one
half
half of
of
Alpine
Alpine.
with Pierre.
Pierre.
We have both Ferrari drivers.
Yep.
Ferrari fully in. We've got both Mercedes drivers,
Yep.
both in. We've got one half of Williams.
Mm-hmm.
We've got both halves of AlphaTauri
Mm-hmm.
and both halves of Alfa Romeo. Now,
Yep.
let's talk about what we know from there. Who's not here? McLaren. Neither McLaren drivers are there. We have no Haas drivers.
Mm-hmm.
We have
No
no
Red Bull drivers.
Ocon, no Red Bull drivers. We have
Mm-hmm.
no Ocon. We have no
Yep.
Alonso. We have no Logan. And we already said no McLaren, right? And I think that's it. I think that's the only people we don't have.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
So there were other things we know.
We're
One thing
like
we know.
missing half the grid at this
This is
point.
fucking. It's literally Salt Bay's restaurant, or is it not? What did we decide last year?
No, it's not. It's not. We thought it
No,
was, but it's not.
we thought it was,
But
but
it
it's not.
is the
Okay,
same. It is the same place that they
same
had it
restaurant,
last
same
year.
room. So here's
So it
another
must be
thing we know
good.
is that there is one chair open at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Last year they
Next to
got the whole
Lewis.
table in, but the chair next to Lewis. So is someone taking the photo? Is there someone there that's taking the photo? Is it Alonso? Would it make sense for Alonso to be across from Lance? And Alonso's there taking the photo. Who knows?
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. However, do whose phone are they taking the photo on? Is that Joe's phone?
No,
Or did
because he's
Joe
on the
just get the
opposite end of
photo?
the table. He's
I
on
know.
the
So
opposite end of the
whose
table. So they
whose
airdropped it
photo
to
and
everyone.
right. And so why did Joe but whose phone is on the table in front of that empty seat? Is that the
True,
thing
so
is
true.
there's no table setting in that seat if you'll
True.
notice.
I
But
do notice.
there is plates and forks in front of everyone else. So that must be
So is
Lewis's
it an
phone.
empty chair?
Empty chairs at empty tables.
In
Red.
my own little corner in my own little chair.
So I think we can safely assume that that empty chair is empty. It may not have been empty the whole time.
If it looks like an empty chair and it sounds like an empty chair, odds are it's an empty chair.
I have to assume because there's no plate, either someone was sitting there and they cleared the plate or no one was sitting there whatsoever. I have to assume that there is a waiter taking this photo. People have been
Yeah. I
rumors have been
also
flying.
have
Oh,
to
there was a
assume
girl sitting next to Lewis. Why would Lewis bring a girl
why,
to the team dinner? No,
please.
absolutely not.
Miss
Not
me with that.
subscribing to that.
Also, something else that we have to assume here is we have to assume this is very early on in the dinner.
Hmm.
It looks like those are more like shared apps on the table. Lance has
Yeah.
nothing in his glass. Mostly everyone else looks like they just have water, except for Carlos and Botas, who both have red wine. That I would
Hmm.
venture to guess they were some of the first people there. So they got
Hmm.
drinks while they were waiting for everyone else. So also stands to reason some people might have not been there yet when this photo was taken. Because I feel like it's pretty early on in the night.
Yeah. But why would they take it so early in the night if they knew other people were coming?
Maybe
People
this was
were
they were like, let's get one really quick, and then we'll get one when everyone else is here. Maybe someone had to leave early.
people were in the DM saying that they did have confirmation that Lando and Oscar were there, but they had to leave for like a team event.
I heard they were late because they had a team event.
Okay. So maybe reverse, but we do people are the streets are
I
saying
have seen
that they
with
were
my
there.
eyes video evidence of them being there.
Okay, perfect. But
So
no video evidence of Red Bull. Red Bull was celebrating their wins, I guess. They just
yeah,
were like, we're too good. Even though
yeah.
last year the rumor was that world champion picked up the tab. So Max said,
I'm not doing
not
it
this year
again.
again. I'm not doing it again, bitch. So curious about, do you think they did like a split wise? Do you think they like all kind of split the bill, or did someone kind of pick it up on their own? I'm really curious about what that looks
I'm
like.
always no, but last year
Lu-
it was. I think Lewis picked it up last year because it was Seb's last race.
you're right.
So maybe this year they were like, this year world champion has to, and Max is like, I'm not doing it.
I'm not even coming. Don't even look for me. I'm not there. But again, interesting enough, I feel like people were like, hey, Lance and Esteban, best friends, BFFs. Lance, why are you sitting next to Pierre? Are you friends with Pierre now and you're not friends with Esteban? What's going on? I
Well,
am vibing with Lance's outfit though, in the full black with like
the chain.
with the chain and the shirt, like the open button down
Yeah,
with the black shirt underneath and his facial hair and his messy hair. Like
you're into
in
the
some
facial
photos,
hair. You really are.
I'm
Huh?
not vibing with the facial hair sometimes. Like I see some photos, but like in this photo specifically, I'm vibing with it. He's
Okay,
looking
that's fair.
grungy. He's looking
Unkempt a little bit, like tussled.
yeah. Yeah, he's looking like a Brooklyn art hoe who's going to ruin my life.
He's definitely looking like he owns only navy sheets.
Like sorry, smash.
He has navy sheets and one pillow. His mattress
Yeah.
is on the floor,
And he has 3 roommates.
and his comforter is plaid, gray and navy blue plaid.
Oh, yeah, but like there's been photos of Lance with his like in his uniform with his backwards hat on, and I'm like, you look gross. But in this
Okay, why
photo,
when you said that? Why when you said that did I just envision him in like a military uniform? Like he's in ROTC. You're like in
I
his
love a man
uniform.
in uniform.
I like immediately was like, I have not seen that photo, but now I want you.
Also, What's happening to Pierre in this photo?
Okay, you know how we talk about how Carlos is like so hot but just not photogenic? Same is true for Pierre. That man cannot smile in a photo.
What is going on, dude? What's going on?
He always you know who he is kind of looking like in this?
Also,
And I'm
George
gonna
is
say,
doing. Go ahead.
I'm saying sorry to Max, but I think Pierre is giving him a run for his money on the sloth look like here.
Literally. George is doing the Mary Kate and Ashley prune smile. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, if you just like say prune,
Prune.
prune. Like what's happening here with those with that lip pucker?
We
All right,
brought
I'll
people.
also tell you, Charles is really the only one who's looking pretty good in this photo.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll give
My
it to
man said
him.
he's looking good. And he's also, I think, wearing his Clays shirt again. So, like I said, I think we're getting it.
Count your motherfucking Yuki looks really happy to be invited. Like he looks really happy to be there.
I love him so much. Oh my
Like
god.
Lewis, Charles playing it cool. They're like, yeah, obviously we're here. Yuki's like, I don't know how I ended up here, but I'm really excited to be here.
Literally. Botas just looks like he absolutely crawled out of like Boulder, Colorado.
Absolutely.
Danny's like, hey guys, did you know that I have my own line? Isn't that one of the new sweaters from his line?
It is. It is.
He's like, did you guys know that I have a brand called Anhante?
Bet you didn't. All right. Next on the list that happened this week that was very exciting. Yuki meeting Jason Statham was all of us meeting our favorite celebrity because he was so
The
fucking
joy.
amped. He
Ugh.
was like, I'm literally losing my fucking mind right now. I'm talking to Jason Statham. I can relate. Can relate. Jason Statham, incredible actor, incredible action star. So like I get it, Yuki. Like
And if
I
you
get
don't
it.
know, anytime Yuki's asked, like, who would play you in a movie, he always says Jason Statham.
Yes.
Like, he loves him, and he's always like, that's who would play me. So, like, hysterical that they met. Like, so funny.
They
Like,
made
I'm
dreams
just,
come
like,
true
so
this
obsessed with
weekend
it.
for Yuki.
Like, I love it. Yeah, he got invited to the driver dinner. He
Hmm.
got to meet Jason Statham. Like, big weekend for him,
It's
truly.
Make a Wish weekend for Yuki.
Ugh, get out. It's Make a Wish weekend for Yuki. Oh my god. Truly. We just got
Another
off
thing
of
that
our Make a Wish weekend in Vegas, so
So now it's time for Yuki's, obviously. Another thing that happened recently that we didn't have time to discuss was Fernando winning TikTok Public Figure of the Year for GQ's Men of the Year awards. And it makes sense.
it
You know, you
does.
and I you and I talk about all the time about how much we love Fernando's TikTok presence. And, I think we got a little bit of the inside scoop that like Fernando really just goes along with whatever people suggest for his
And
TikTok.
we got the inside scoop that he manages a lot of his own social,
Yeah.
which
TikTok
I'm
is really
obsessed
the
with.
only one that I think he doesn't really manage on his
Yeah,
own because that's fair. I don't even want to manage my own TikTok. But he is I loved the photo shoot of him with the flowers and like I it was just like absurd. And
absurd and
like
all
I
of it.
talked about that this it was supposed to be Lance's redemption year, but it was Alonso's redemption year. Like
100%.
Alonso flipped the narrative on its head and like he came out on top this season in the in
100%.
the in the eye of the public. So, congratulations Fernando. You are my world driver champion this year whether the points say it or not. So, congratulations.
Golf clap.
Also we posted on the story today a photo of Logan's like America's Next Top Model
It was
loungewear
from
photo
an
shoot.
editorial shoot that he did recently, right? Like,
Yeah, I hadn't
I
seen
think I
anything
wanna say
about it.
Lily posted about it recently, like, the full, like, shoot,
Spread.
and I was just, like, screaming that Logan's the one that's just like, "Yeah, I'll wear whatever." It, like, makes
He's
me
giving
think back to, like, Esteban's, like, cult leader photo shoot for Vanity
Vanity
Fair.
Fair.
Like,
He's giving big Gumby energy, I'll tell you that. Huge Gumby energy. Um,
the Gumby energy is strong with this one.
and also giving you and me in our in our matching green satin jumpsuits we have from Aerie, like
The velour ones,
the
the
velour
velvet.
ones.
I just wore the pants the other day. I can't find my sweatshirt. I'm, like, really sad about it.
Sad.
I miss them. I'm bringing them for your birthday, though. Can we wear them on your birthday?
Obviously. Riley was in the DM, she's
Be
like,
nice.
"Okay, District 12 looking ass. Like, what is that outfit?" Like, of course, what's happening here? Like, it's a
It's
little
too
knee
much.
pop.
It's high
It's
fashion, baby.
it's I don't know if he's really cut out for the high fashion life, but it made me giggle today. It made me
It definitely
giggle.
gave me
And
a little pep in my step, shall we say.
George is like you actually right now. And he has also got the Vegas plague. So apparently he has been suffering all weekend. And
Ugh,
despite that, he did
so
pretty well
good.
this weekend. So, you know what? Good for
Yeah.
him. He's definitely doing better than Kate is. So,
Good. You asked me to drive even, like, my own Hyundai Tucson? No shot.
he spent $114 or $140 on cold meds, and Kate only
You're
spent
so right.
130. So,
That's where I went wrong. I would just cheaped
so
out on the cold meds. Dude, my
and
mom even gave
other
me their, like, cough medicine with codeine in it, and it was not doing anything for me.
wow, okay. Well, shit. Tough luck.
It's like I've been taking Sudafed, and it's been doing nothing. I'm like, "Nothing is working." I'm like, "Is this in my head? Like, am I making this up? Why are things not working for me?" Like, I don't know what's going on.
And also related to George, he in his once again in his president of the Drivers Association era, and he has been rallying for the engineers and the other F1 personnel because he's saying like we get the life of luxury. We fly private, we fly first class. Like we get time off, we get to show up on the weekends and really just like do our job. But like the engineers and all of the other staff members have to fly economy, and they're jumping like the whole week is kind of, they're doing their stuff. And he's like, I think it's really unfair that they have to travel as much as they do because they're getting sick and they're getting burnt out and they're making mistakes. And so he's pushing for more regulation around how many races each personnel can attend, because he
Hmm.
just really values their safety. So good guy George,
Good guy George.
coming at
It's
you
like it's
again.
gonna these rules are gonna go into place, and it's gonna be we're gonna have, like, delayed starts on races, and they're gonna be like, "Sorry, we actually can't do this anymore because half of the engineers have timed out," like, when you're on an airplane, and they're like, "We're delayed, we're delayed, we're delayed. Sorry, you can't go. Everyone's timed out." That's what's gonna start happening.
Like what happened in Vegas when they kicked everyone out because all of the workers timed out.
Yeah, they were like, "Bye, union break, get us out of here."
Bye. And they're like, we don't give a
And you and I
shit.
said, "Don't look at us, we're staying."
We're not involved in that. We'll
Everyone at
work
Alfa Romeo
ourselves
was
if
like,
we have
"If
to.
you leave, we can leave. Please leave." And we're like, "We're staying."
You can hand us that opportunity on a golden platter and not expect us to stay.
Hey, we'll get into that more
So
in our
silly
Vegas episode.
in our Vegas episode, but let's really pour one out for the W14 Mercedes. Good riddance. Try again next year. Let's hope for a better car.
Lewis set that shit on fire.
Yeah, he said, "Dump it in the
Guaranteed.
river. Dump it in the river. I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to see
It's
it
like
ever
at the end of a
again."
school year when you're like, "I'm gonna take all my school books and I'm gonna burn them. I'm gonna all my like loose papers." That's what he's doing with that car.
Yeah,
He's like, it's a bonfire."
it's a bonfire. I'm done, and I'm sure Ferrari feels the same way. Carlos and Charles feel the same way. Like
Every year
poor
they feel that way.
Charles was like, "Can I do burnouts?" And they were like, "No, absolutely the fuck not." And he's like, "I can't even do fucking burnouts. I fucking hate it here." He's like, "This is such
So
bullshit. I can't believe I can't even do burnouts." He's like, "You guys ruined my entire season, and now I can't even do burnouts." Okay. He's like, "I've been wait. That's the only saving grace for me this year was that I was gonna be able to rip some donuts, and now I can't." Tough weekend for him. But still
Yeah.
he perseveres.
Nevertheless, she persisted.
All right. Now let's get into one of our favorite segments, the
The
girls' room.
girls' room. Well,
And
ladies and gentlemen, we have a new wag on the grid.
we have a new wag on the grid.
What's her name? Flavi?
Yeah, I think so.
It just sounds
Flavy?
so
Flavy Flav?
Flava Flav. Guys, Flava Flav.
Flava
Esteban
Flav and
is
Esteban
sipping on
Ocon.
that flavor of love. What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Flavy, Flavy, Flave. What I like, I have no idea. She's French, so it's really anybody's guess how that's pronounced.
Anyone who speaks French, please tell us. We do not want to intentionally be saying her name wrong, but I just don't know.
I have no
Um,
idea. She was Miss Côte d'Azur 2022 though. So while you said she's a med student, not a model, she is actually a model. So
well, at least that's not like, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that being your full time job, but I was like, oh, classic. Like, another driver got just like a hot blonde model to be his girlfriend, like crazy. But she is a third year med student, which I think is very cool. But she also
yeah.
is a beauty pageant, beauty queen,
Yeah.
which good
I
for
mean, she's
her. You know what?
gorgeous.
You want to know what? You know, what did we learn from Miss Congeniality? It's a scholarship program, all right? It is not a beauty pageant. It's a scholarship program, and you should take them seriously.
We should. She's beautiful, so I mean,
She's
I'm
fucking
just like
stunning. Oh my god. He likes blondes.
pop the fuck off, Esteban, dude. Like,
Your squirrel looking ass. Getting that? After a ligma?
squeal,
Squirrel. You squirrel looking
squeal.
ass.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Brittany had to come to terms. Manager Brittany is a really, really big Esteban Ocon fan, and
Well, you
obviously
know
for a
what her problem
while,
is? Her problem is that she used to be blonde and she's not anymore. She could have gotten him in Vegas,
yeah, so true, so
but she
true.
went
If
to
she just
vet.
went back to being blonde, she had to learn the hard way something that we all learned, that it sucks when your favorite gets a significant other. So welcome to the club, Brittany.
Welcome to
Welcome
the
to the club.
This is your hazing.
We'll go into a little bit more detail on her and like who she is next week. We just don't really
Yeah,
have the time to do that today, but we're keeping
you guys,
tabs.
we're doing the best we
We'll
can. I cannot speak. So,
It's really we're lucky that she's even here today. Otherwise, this was just going to be a Nicole podcast where I'm just talking to no one but myself.
well,
So at least I
anytime
have
this happens
some.
like that, maybe husband Nick will come in now that he is his own
Now
bona
that
fide celebrity.
Yeah, now that he's a content creator, he can just stand in for one of us.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to discuss was this pattern of Charles's
Mhm.
girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, wearing green to their
As their
last
final
as their
paddock appearance.
final paddock outfit. Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, three times is enemy action. So just saying that
Enemy action.
so
The witches.
Giada wore green to her last paddock what's the word that I'm thinking of?
Appearance.
Appearance, thank you. Charlotte wore green to her last paddock appearance, and we got Alex in a green dress this weekend. Let's see what happens over the break.
See?
Let's see what happens over the break.
Well, you never know.
Because if this turns out to be like rule of thirds and this is a
I,
pattern,
I'm throwing everything green away. I'm never wearing green again.
I would just like to consider the fact that maybe Charles is a psychopath and knows that he's going to break up with them and like makes him wear this outfit because he's into like some weird humiliation kink. So I don't know, but I will be speculating if him and Alex break up over the break and he becomes single again. I will be speculating on some really weird shit.
Weird shit. You just like wear this green dress and now.
Oh, all right. Well, we have rambled fucking enough today.
Rumbled.
let's get into our interview with Niia. Niia has recently released an album called Bobby Deerfield, which we'll get into a little bit more in detail with our interview with her. But she's truly a phenomenal human being, and I'm so thankful that we got the opportunity to befriend her and really get to hear her story. She is a Boston girly through and through,
Yeah.
although she likes to say, not so much anymore, but once a Boston girl, always a Boston girl. And so we real recognize real
Always.
on that. But she's phenomenal. I can't wait for you guys to listen to our interview with her. But you know what? As we always say, until next time. And we'll see you on the internet.
I'll see you on the internet.
Bye.
Bye.
You guys all look really cute on camera.
You do too.
Thank you.
I
Thank
know,
God
you
I
look
put
so
a little.
cool.
He's giving us thumbs up.
Okay,
We're rolling.
We're rolling. All right,
We're-
live from Blue Wire Studios
In the Wynn, Las Vegas. It's Vegas Grand Prix weekend.
Let's go, baby.
You're already spinning.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, I'm trying to see both of you. It's hard to
I
sit in the
know.
I know.
middle.
You're-
You don't have to look at me. You can
Okay.
see me in there.
Okay, I'm not gonna look at you once.
Nia's more important, so you look
my God.
directly at her. We're making eye contact with her. I'm in there.
Okay,
Please.
perfect.
Yeah.
Noted. All right. Well, welcome to the 101st
Oh my goodness.
episode of TG1F, an
Oh my
F1
God.
podcast with Kate and Nicole.
Congratulations on that. That's
Thank you.
It's amazing.
We're very excited.
We're centennials now.
Yeah, we are. We're old,
We're old.
No.
both in body and spirit.
No.
Today, especially, I'm feeling my age.
Yes, we are running on 2.5, 3 hours of sleep, maybe at this point. That's generous. I think.
That's generous. That
I
is
mean-
generous.
Yeah.
I know that it wasn't like quality sleep.
No.
It was.
I mean, you guys look fabulous.
Thank
so
you.
I
You
need,
look fabulous.
I
You
need
were right
your,
there with us.
your witch spells of that. So
We're feeling really witchy today. Yeah. It's my biggest witch spell today was Tarte concealer.
Yes.
About
Shout
19,
out,
19 layers of it.
shout out Tarte. Thank you so much
Okay.
for the Vegas goodies.
I
They
love
are
it.
really pulling it together
love
for
it.
us today. But let's not get ahead of
Yeah,
ourselves.
we run it back.
well, thank you for having me. I'm really
Welcome,
excited.
Niia.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the
course.
podcast today. For
Already one of the best parts of our Vegas Grand Prix weekend.
Exactly.
For everyone that follows us on Instagram, you know that on Thursday, on practice day, we were in the paddock with Alfa Romeo, and Nicole and I were there, and we're like, well, we have each other, so regardless of what happens, like we'll have a great time.
Right.
And then we were just blessed to make new friends, and we are so honored to have you here. This is Niia. She is an international superstar in the making, and
That's
she's very cool and has some incredible music out. She's going on a tour in Europe, so all of our followers in Europe, keep an eye
I
out.
love that.
Um,
Yeah.
We'll learn more about her, but
Yeah.
we're very excited because we were in the paddock and we all just got to hang out. You experienced your first espresso martini yesterday.
I did.
Yeah, that was huge for us.
I did, and it was my first paddock, and I didn't have any expectations, and I honestly thought it would just be a bunch of guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really nice to see beautiful women. And also, I'm such an introvert, so I was also like, all right, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anybody, and now we're friends.
Now we're best
Now we're
friends.
friends.
Yeah,
Here we
so
are.
it was
12 hours later.
Very special.
One
I'm-
thing about us is that we're gonna make friends with everyone and just
Yeah.
kind of force people to be our friends. So whether you wanted to or not, you didn't know it, but you were gonna be our friend.
No, I wanted to.
We saw you in the line for the shuttle, and we were like, and Kara said she's with us too, and we said, great, she's our friend now.
She looks cool and she's gonna be our friend.
I mean, we were all well dressed.
Yeah.
that's
We
awesome.
looked amazing. I mean, we were maybe some of the best dressed in the paddock yesterday, I think.
Definitely.
To say
Right.
the least. To
say the
say the least. Yeah, it was very fun though. Like that was kind of our first paddock experience to that extent as
Mhm.
well.
Right.
We have been media before, so kind of a different lens to an F1
Right.
weekend. So it was really cool to see the garage tour.
Yeah, we'd
Um,
never been in a garage before. It was
yeah.
so fun.
That
and
was
to
nuts.
be able to kind of get those behind the scenes. But I'm curious how your first, paddock experience was.
I mean, blown away. I'm still honestly processing. I think for me, my love of Formula One kind of originated because I studied jazz voice back in the day.
Mhm.
And like jazz, old Hollywood car culture was just so part of that.
Mhm.
So that's how I got into cars. Then I now live in LA, and car culture is so big there.
Huge. Yeah.
And my mom's from Italy, so I grew up watching foreign films and just kind of being into like football and just other sports that aren't as U.S. popular.
Oh my God, you're calling it football. Oh my God, European football.
So hero.
And then so I kind of saw Formula One and just loved the drama at first
Yes.
and just the glamour, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, being there yesterday, I now am more interested in the technical stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause the other things of the teams, the rivalries, the history, the legacy.
Yeah, totally.
That's what fascinated me at first. But now starting to understand like the statistics, like all the math
Yeah.
or just the detail
It's crazy.
and the
Even the guy telling us
discipline.
yesterday that the amount of like, was it nuts and bolts that they have in the garage is like $25,000 or
No,
$1 million,
$5 million.
$5 million,
Yeah.
something like that. I was like, of just like
What?
screws.
Screws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what a nut is in my
Yeah.
brain. I think it's like
Yeah.
screw.
I mean, it's the thing that goes over the washer and you
Oh yes.
Yeah, and I can see
Crank it
how
in.
it can be overwhelming to understand that part
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
you know, and keep up with everything. But now, even as a female, I'm like, oh, that's like a mechanic stuff. It's a guy thing. But I'm like, I'm actually now really interested to understand the tires have sleeping bags.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yes.
and it's also not that difficult once you start learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's and they were very welcoming.
They were.
All
And
you
know.
need is a safe space to like be able to feel like you can ask questions and learn and not feel
Yeah.
shamed for not knowing something
sure.
because no one knows everything.
no one
But
knows
man, the sounds in that garage, I mean,
Life
You felt
changing.
it.
I was
like, I
like-
feel it in my like chest.
I was like, I want to take my phone out and sample this.
I know.
To put on a record. Like,
I mean, they said no video, but I feel like
that-
you could have maybe done that.
some audio. Yeah, we could have more kind of
Next time.
Yeah.
skirting around the rules there. But yeah, so one of the biggest reasons you were joining us in the
Yes.
paddock yesterday with Alfa Romeo is because you have a song titled Alfa Romeo.
I do.
So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that song and your album Deerfield
Yeah, of course.
in general, and kind of like what was the inspiration and kind of what
Right.
was the process in recording this album.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, to make it a short little story, I was invited to a screening with Al Pacino himself.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm
Is this because I know that we're kind of going off script here,
No,
but
no.
you were a big Sopranos. You were on the
Yeah,
Sopranos podcast.
yeah,
Is this because of that?
I mean, I mean, my mom's from Italy.
Yeah.
Every Christmas Eve, we watch The Godfather. He's basically Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
of
We're
course,
we're
yeah.
big Italian cinema
Yeah.
fans, and I had assumed I had seen every Al Pacino movie. And my friend was like, "Hey, Al Pacino's doing this private screening. You got to come." So I'm like, "Oh my god." So I meet Al Pacino, and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna watch my favorite movie I've ever made. It was a huge flop. I'm devastated." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, Scarface, whatever."
Yeah.
He goes,
Scarface,
and it's
huge
called
flop,
Bobby
notoriously.
Deerfield. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? So we sit and we all watch this movie, and it's basically a movie based on the book called Heaven Has No Favorites. And it's all about a Formula One driver who drives for Alfa Romeo. And basically his partner gets in a crash, and he goes on this like existential journey to figure out, he's skirting through death every day, like trying to, and it's just the psychology of being a Formula One driver, and played by Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. It's so chic. It's bad, but it's like, one of those movies
Yeah.
that's so bad. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's a cult
One
classic.
of those like cult classes, like
Yeah.
super campy. You're like you have to
yeah.
love
And
this.
I was already like in Formula One a little bit, but intimidated.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went in this like deep dive into this film and just became obsessed and just started getting really Daniel Day-Lewis method.
Yeah.
And like started taking stick shift lessons.
Whoa.
Told my manager, like, my album's called Bobby Deerfield. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it sounds like.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So cool.
And then, Alfa Romeo was the team he drove for. So I was like, this is kind of the crux of the whole essence. And so I was like, there needs to be a song called Alfa Romeo.
has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a good one too.
Thank you.
Wow, I
Thank
love
you.
that's such a fun story. I feel like there's so few people now that like have these real like concept albums that like come from something that just like really means something to you. So many people are just like, I'm just gonna do this like fun
Yeah. And
hit,
I
which,
mean,
like it's great, but
it is. And I guess for me, I need to feel connected to it.
Yeah.
And Bobby Deerfield ended up being like this weird mirror for my dad and like a reflection
Okay.
of myself, and the
learned a lot
cars.
about yourself.
Yeah, and like cars symbolize like the history of the car itself,
Yeah.
of what a car means. like as a symbol of wealth, as a symbol of whatever. And just the history of it all just fascinated me, of like the legacy.
Yeah.
You know, so it just kind of became this like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
so
I love
I'm
that.
obsessed with that. I love that. How has like the reception been? I know you just finished up a tour.
yeah, I just went on my first headline US
how
tour.
was that?
It was pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I mean, you guys prepare, you guys know, it's just, I think it's, the work wasn't the problem. Like, I know how to sing live. That's my job. That's what I studied. I think it was more the emotional aspect of, you know, being around a lot of people. I'm such an introvert sometimes that the highs and lows of like being in front of a crowd, then like being alone in a hotel room looking for ice.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m., it's just the extremes can,
Yeah.
you can kind of find yourself like, who am I?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and I'm very grateful that I get to tour and meet fans from all over. Like I had someone fly from Switzerland to come see a show.
Whoa.
Well,
That's crazy.
I hope they make it to
Yeah.
your Switzerland show.
I know, that's true.
Yeah, you were like, you probably didn't need to come all the way
Yeah.
out here. I'm
But it
coming
was
to
fun,
you
and
soon.
Alfa Romeo is like kind of more of like a rock song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see my fans like, what's happening?
They're like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
But also it's Alfa Romeo. You got to go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to
Exactly.
be.
Exactly. It's got to give the energy. It's got to give the
Yes.
drama.
Yes.
Yeah, we loved it. It's a beautiful song.
Thank you. And as a Cancer, like being in the Alfa Romeo paddock, I was like, this is a full circle moment.
Yes.
Like, I am blessed. So yeah.
I love that. I know my favorite conversation yesterday where you were like, I don't know what to put on my Instagram story because I'm so, like,
I'm
gonna
overwhelmed.
post some like weird witchy bullshit, and I'm where Kate and I are like, that's our
Do that.
brand.
That's
literally
Like,
all we
please
do.
post more witchy bullshit. Like we're so into that.
I'm definitely a witch. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
We all are.
Yeah.
We were telling you about how we do Manifest Minute, and it's
I love
of our,
that.
one of our favorite things to do is just
Tap into the universe a little
tap
bit.
into the universe,
Yeah.
open our third eye, and really
Yeah.
connect on a deeper level
I love
with
that.
ourselves and with our fans. So
And with other people, which I
Yeah.
think is really special.
yeah. And I think that's, one of the things we loved about you is that obviously, no preconceived notions of who you were, but
Right.
like I felt like immediately when we started chatting, we were in the garage and we were in the engine room, and you were like, it's kind of crazy there's no women here.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, I would have expected at least one.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, I guess it's, it's kind of interesting to see how it's still such like a boys club. And I was just like, I feel like it was a nice moment where you were like, okay, I trust you enough to like bring this up.
Yeah. And I also, I'm not one of those girls that's going to like get angry about it. But I also do think that as women that we're interested in this world. And even though my entry point was through music, it's like we should share it and try to encourage. Like, I think it's cool that there's Instagrams of the girlfriends of the drivers and we're just talking about their outfits.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's got to be another way. And that's why I think what you guys do is so special too. And just try to make it interesting in a way that everyone,
There's no like one way to be a fan of something.
Yeah, and
which
you don't
I
have
think
to
is,
talk
like,
to
the most
women
important.
one way and men other
Right,
either,
exactly.
So I just think even seeing more women talking about Formula One,
Yeah.
however we want to.
Exactly.
And that was one of the things when we started this, like, what, 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago? It's been
Wow.
it's been
What
a
is
crazy
time?
journey. But like the whole reason we started is because we were like, we don't see anyone having the conversations that we want to, and we tried to join in the male-dominated conversations, and
And how was that received at first?
not
Great.
not well at all. And
Right.
so we were like, all right, well, we're gonna build our own thing.
Yeah.
Because we know that there have to be other women out there
Yes.
who are interested in the same way that we
Yes.
are. And so being able to create that space for women who are like, yep, I'm feeling kind of secluded and not sure how to ask questions or
Right.
how to
Yeah.
get into this in a way that feels comfortable for me.
Right.
And, people oftentimes berate Drive to Survive fans, right? And we're like, we don't care if you started watching yesterday or if you were born into the
Right.
Formula One life. Like, as long as you are someone who's coming into the community with respect and consideration, like, you're welcome here.
Totally. Curiosity favors the bold, I believe. Just
Exactly.
being curious that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
What did you guys think of last night's whole experience? Being a bit more,
It was definitely something. It was
Yeah.
something.
It was very interesting, and I don't think it was necessarily surprising.
No.
I
Okay.
think
You anticipated something maybe going wrong.
I think
Okay.
yeah, you can't have something that you're building up so much. Nothing ever goes perfect. And I think that that's something that also people need to remember, because I've seen a lot of people online being like, this is horrible. This is so bad. I'm so disappointed. Like, Vegas sucks. This is the worst race ever. And I'm like, okay, let's be realistic.
Right.
Nothing goes perfectly.
Especially for the first time.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's historic tracks that they've driven at for years that like things go wrong. Like nothing was going to go perfect. It's their first time. And I think America, and like especially a place like Vegas, is easy to maybe make fun of, or like just like be like, oh, classic, Vegas didn't go well. But I think it's important to remember, like, it's gonna get better. Like, yes, it was probably the worst thing that probably could have happened, because it's like, okay, you just clearly did not look at the track beforehand. But I mean, I think in general they've done a pretty decent job in Vegas making it engaging. Like, so many fan activities and pop-ups that are happening that there's something to do all the time.
Right.
And I think that was probably best case scenario for last night, when there was like the red flag for FP1, and then FP2 was like 3 hours later.
And you guys stayed.
Yeah.
You guys actually got to go and stay.
Yeah,
right?
we did. But I think it's nice, because I was thinking about like the Austin race.
Yeah.
If that happened then, pandemonium. You'd be stuck in traffic. Like, there's nowhere to go.
Yep.
People would just be stuck there, where at least here there was like other parties and pop-ups and like things for people to do. So it didn't feel as like devastating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
100%. And it was interesting because this has never happened before. So to see everyone kind of just like pivot and be like, all right, well, we just gotta let it ride, was a really interesting kind of moment to be a part of.
Who do you think is most upset? I think Mercedes.
And I think it's Ferrari.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
We're like, well, they're a given.
that's a given.
But who do you think this affects the most? Besides, like, what are at stakes here now, based on all the penalties and things?
I mean, because I would say Ferrari, because Carlos got a 10-place penalty, grid place. So he is
No matter where he qualifies, he has to start 10 places.
So why is
below
Mercedes upset, or is everybody just upset?
I think this has been an interesting season, and I feel like this happened. For
Maybe
the past
Mercedes
season or
is still
two.
bitter from the last situation.
Of course,
And it's just been a weird season where I feel like almost every race we're having to be like, we have to recheck the rules. We have to rewrite this. And it's just like, are there any real rules and regulations? Because apparently no one knows what's happening ever. Like, it just feels very like.
Feels like my all-girls school. Like,
they're just reinventing things.
on the fly. We're just making things up and we're just going with the flow.
Yeah.
I think also, like, we were seeing like Toto from Mercedes was speaking, and I think he's frustrated in how frustrated other people are and are just kind of like, I think people had a notion that it wasn't going to go well here.
Right.
And I think like what happened last night was just kind of like the nail in the coffin and like proof of like, see, he told you it wasn't going to go well. And I think, I don't know, there's some generally maybe negative feelings out there that maybe are warranted, maybe are unwarranted. But I think it's just like, we got to just, hey, you know what we got to do? Why be upset when you can just have fun?
Love that.
That's our motto. I don't know. Okay, I have some fun questions for you.
Yes.
We're getting a little fun.
I'm ready.
First of all, in one word or 2 words, because I know what you're going to say, describe your first espresso martini.
Italian man.
I knew it. I was like, I got to adjust this to 2 words. I know exactly what you're going to say.
I guess I grew up with everybody eating like stale biscottis and espresso around me.
Yeah.
So all my and they all smelled like Amaro and like cologne and hair gel. So it just took me back, and I was like, this tastes like an Italian man.
That was the best.
Was that what you?
That
it was
the
so
best.
pure and just like wholesome. It was like, we're like, you didn't prepare that. Like, you weren't like, what's the funniest thing I can say here? You just sipped and you're like, this tastes like an Italian man.
I really have never had one before. Which
is
crazy to
insane.
me.
I just feel like whenever I've talked to girlfriends or anyone who's had them, like, the next day they look crazy.
Rough.
So I've just kind of like stayed away.
Yeah.
But last
Again,
time
shout out Tarte for this concealer.
No, it was delicious.
Niia saying we look a little
I'm-
crazy today. That's
I'm in.
fine.
I'm into espresso martinis.
Perfect. Love to
Yes.
hear that.
If you could collaborate with one artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive? Ooh. Musician artist?
Yeah.
Chet Baker.
Okay.
You know him, the jazz trumpet player?
I don't.
No.
You would know him if you heard his voice. He's
Okay,
like a very,
I'm
like,
sure.
The
"I
name sounds
fall
really
in
familiar to
love."
me.
He's very
Okay. I'm sure if
Okay,
I'm sure if
I
I
would.
heard it. Yeah.
Amy Winehouse too, but I'm sure she'd be really difficult to work with, but in the best way. Like you would just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like,
Because she studied jazz, and we have the same. Like there's this old jazz song called "Round Midnight," and that's my favorite song, and it's
Okay.
her favorite song.
I love that.
I love
Honestly,
Amy.
when I asked this question, I was like, I wonder was just gonna say Amy Winehouse because I kind of feel the vibe.
I love Amy.
Okay, well, speaking of jazz,
She's a purist.
I have
that's
to
why.
know. I have another question. Speaking of
course.
jazz, we have a favorite jazz artist.
Ooh.
And do you know
What?
Jack Jezero?
No.
I don't know. Does
Is he
do
real?
anything? Does
Are
he-
you guys?
Don't know.
No,
if
we're
Is
he's
he
not.
real?
Actually.
Are
We're
you?
not making
Okay,
him
I'm
up.
I'm
gullible.
not. No, you would think
Jazz
because his name
Jezero?
Jack Jezero.
Jack
Jazz
Jezero.
Jezero. We're like, it's not made up. His name is Jack Jazz.
Okay, tell me. I'd love to.
I don't. Does he do original songs?
Yeah, I think the whole Italian album is.
No,
him.
it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, it's his renditions of it.
Yeah.
Is he
But he
a
also has Christmas.
new artist?
I mean, he's like in his 50s.
Basically, we went to Italy, and so we were like, let's listen to some Italian music to get ourselves in the vibe. And so I
Where-
put
oh
on
my
a
God.
playlist, and we were like, this is the best like album I've ever heard. And we were like, oh, what is this playlist? And we realized we were listening to an album. His name is Jack Jezero, and we
Okay.
just decided we loved him.
Yeah.
I need to check it out. It's very rare. I
Okay,
don't
you'll
know
have,
jazz
you'll have
music.
to tell us. If you
Yeah.
And then I'm
it's
excited for your
what
answer
If, what
to
if it's
change.
terrible?
Don't tell us.
Is it jazz?
It is jazz.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Like
So he
crooner
does,
jazz, crooner jazz, like
He does a lot of like jazz guitar and like he does different things. So he has like Italian jazz
Love
and then he
it.
does like Christmas jazz and he does like Broadway
That's
jazz.
what I'm saying. I don't know how much.
I wouldn't
I don't
peg
know
you
what he-
guys as jazzers.
Oh, I love a jazz.
love a
I
jazz.
love a
yeah.
jazz bar.
I guess.
I was trying to have
I
a
can see that.
jazz trio at my wedding,
Oh
but
my god, you should have
didn't
called
have
me.
enough money.
Well, now
Well, now we know.
oh my god, next time
For
I get
next
married.
time.
yeah,
For my next
for the
wedding.
next one.
Yeah.
for the divorce party maybe.
Exactly. Good thing Nick's not here.
yeah. Yeah, well, I'm excited for the next time I ask who would you want to collaborate, dead or alive, and you'll
gonna
say,
be
"Wow,
Jack
obviously
I
Jack Jezero."
mean, yes, definitely.
That's my dream collab.
Okay,
For
what's your go-to karaoke song?
Hopelessly Devoted to You by Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, a good one.
Random, but just because it's really hard for me to do karaoke because I'll always have someone come up and be like, you're pretty good, kid. You should do on that American Idol, and I'm like, it's
Like,
just
thanks.
because like you either have to be really bad, like it's
Yeah.
fun,
Yes.
Yeah.
but I'm also like I'm a singer, so if I do Holy Night by Celine Dion, I'm
People
gonna
are
hit
be
those
like,
notes. I'm
"Boo,
gonna do it.
she's
Yeah.
And then everyone's
too
like, "Okay,
good."
try
You're
hard."
like, all
Yeah.
right, it's like there's no scout here. Relax. What are yours?
Depends on the day.
Oh, okay.
I love a duet of what is the High School Musical song?
High School Musical. Wow.
No,
Oh.
the Troy and Gabrielle song. Why am I soaring?
Oh my god, cute.
Soaring flying. I don't know.
There's not a star in heaven that we.
Yeah, I can't think.
Okay,
of it
well,
now
I
that
can't
you're
think of the
saying
song right now.
Wow.
It's because we're brain.
I literally am dead. Or
Okay.
Sugar, We're Going Down.
Yeah, sure, we're going down. Is a
Okay,
good
I
one
can
for
see
me
that.
because I'm a horrible singer. So it's one that I'm just like it's like my favorite song ever. So I'm like I sing this and I don't care that I'm not good at it, and I don't have to focus on the like lyrics on the TV. Like I don't have to look at it. I can just put on a show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
love
I did
that.
sing karaoke the other night. It was so embarrassing. Oh my god, I was with my work friends and everyone's going up. First of all, no one's amazing, but I sang "Lips of an Angel" by Hinder.
Classic.
Nice.
And I think I was so bad because they all came up and sang with me after like a verse, and I was like, I think it's that I'm so bad. They feel bad, so they're like coming up with me, and I was like, whatever.
I'm dead.
Like
You gotta
19
do it.
drinks deep, so I don't actually care.
That's
but
the best way to do it.
I was like, I'm not even carrying a tune. I bet.
I mean, we saw James. What was his name? James Corden last
James
week.
Corden.
Yeah.
Corden. I always say his name wrong. I
Yeah,
wanted to be like,
first.
like.
You want to do?
Why don't we do?
karaoke?
Why don't we like do carpool karaoke in like not like vans?
Yeah.
Like, it's like
In a nice Alfa Romeo car.
yeah. What are your favorite cars? Like if you had a dream car, endless,
That's a good question.
endless.
I don't know.
Budget. You don't know?
Okay,
No.
I'll tell you what my answer used to be when I was a kid. My dream car when I was doing
It's
I
gonna
used
be-
to tell everyone that I was gonna have a sparkly powder blue stretch Hummer, and that was gonna be what I was driving
Whoa.
around in every day.
My childhood dream was Barbie pink Beetle.
Okay. A
Yeah.
beetle.
Oh,
A
that was
beetle
unexpected.
girl.
Right now, I'm really into the Defender though.
Okay. Cool.
I've been seeing them because we live on Cape Cod, and so like Jeeps are everywhere, and
Yeah.
like Land Rovers are everywhere, and a bunch of people have been having like custom Defenders out there, and I just think they're very cool and fun. I really like that in like the trunk area they have seats that face each other, and I'm like, this is like such a cool fun thing.
I mean,
I have to say, this is embarrassing to say,
No,
but like
say it.
I don't know too much about like actual like cars.
It's your dream car an F.
there's not. I mean, you don't need to know much.
I'm like,
I mean,
I want
you-
like a fun sports car.
I mean,
That's
I like
fine.
all the
I'll take a
cars that
Ferrari,
are-
I'll
yeah.
take a Ferrari. I'll
Yeah.
take a Alfa.
I like the. Do you guys ever see the BMW 8 Series that have the lights that like go like this?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
They kind of look like a Coke dealer Batman car.
Yeah.
And,
Coke dealer Batman. Yeah.
you know, like,
I'm
I don't
obsessed
know.
with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it literally looks
Yeah,
like
you can
just
say
some
anything on
chic
this
dealer.
This is an X-rated podcast. We say whatever
Okay,
we
cool.
want here.
All right, great.
We do have
Definitely
the
not
explicit
big enough to
mark.
have sex in the car,
Yeah,
though.
no.
It'd be like,
You
that's
want
also.
it small. You want it tiny. Oh, exclusive.
Yeah.
One other person. That's it.
But I also don't know if I would like to have sex in like an SUV. That feels like,
Too much room almost.
or just like, I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
I need to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too old to have sex in cars.
Yeah, I think we're past
Just in
that
general.
point.
Yeah.
Just in
Yeah.
general. Yeah.
I think we can afford nice.
It's
hotel
never
rooms
been that
nowadays.
great.
Yeah.
If I can remember. What I can remember.
It's never been that bad.
Yeah.
But
So
never
if you're
been that
thinking
great
about having
either.
sex in a car, ladies and gentlemen, just skip it.
Or let us know what car.
Yeah, or-
let
or
us
yeah,
know.
have a
Favorite
favorite car.
preferred car.
Yeah.
And we'll test them out.
Yeah, I mean,
That's gonna be our
I'd
new
love
car
to know.
series. Is
That'll be when you have me back. We'll
Yeah.
all have
it's like
reviewed
comedians.
sex in a car.
It's like comedians in cars getting coffee, but it's
Yeah.
podcasters in
It's
cars.
two
having
two
sex.
So what was
girls
your
in
experience?
cars testing them out.
I
for
mean,
their
we
ability.
2 girls, 1 car.
Yeah, we're primed and ready for it. So the joke writes itself.
I mean, I that's also something I wonder about with these drivers. Like, I wonder, do they have sex before? Oh, what do they?
Like in the cars.
No, like before races. I think about what they
Like, yeah, what
listen
they're,
to.
like-
I know they like release their playlist, but I'm sure a lot of that is kind of like curated.
Yeah.
And, you know, political to
Yeah.
some degree.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think you're really listening to like Dua Lipa before
Yeah.
you get in your car.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe. But I'm curious their playlist, and I'm also like, what is their routine
Yeah.
before?
We always
what
wonder
it
this.
really is, not what they're trained
Yeah,
to say.
no,
Yeah.
their PR.
You know,
We'll
like,
never get that answer because we'd only ever be able to ask them on this podcast.
maybe we'll get one of the girlfriends drunk one night and be like,
Okay,
what's
what do they
going
do?
on?
Well, I know on Dak Shepard's podcast, not his F1 one, but his armchair expert, he interviewed Danny, and he asked him, and he was like, do you have sex before
And what did he say?
races? Like, is that something? And Danny was like, I think I did it once, but he's like, no, because like then you're kind of in a relaxed state, and you don't want to be in a relaxed state. You want
You have to be sexually frustrated to drive that car.
I
I mean,
You have to know what's at the finish line,
yeah,
that's fair.
you have to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
So I just think that
literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
You got to get to the finish line first.
I can do it before a show, but then I'm like, don't touch my face because like my makeup.
yeah.
You're like,
Which then
don't-
it gets
yeah.
like weird because you're just like,
You're like, we're doing this out with kissing.
It's
Yeah.
giving
Really
Pretty
intimate.
Woman.
yeah, it's. And then I feel like I just like used him, and I'm like, you know what? That's
I
okay.
just
Your
We need to relax.
fiance. Yeah.
You really
Use
used
your
him.
fiancé.
He's like, I'm fine with it, really.
Like, I'm just gonna turn around. Are we okay with that?
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
Anyway,
I'm dead. Okay, this
Anyways.
has kind of gone off the handle, but
But what else do we expect?
yeah, this is a Two Girls, One Formula podcast, to say the
Love it.
least. But when can we expect your next tour? What is the timeline?
Yeah, what do you got going on?
I mean, well, right now I'm already working on new music.
Okay.
Yeah,
So fun.
I'm really trying to do it because I'm so psycho and like
Yeah.
go Daniel Day-Lewis that I'm trying to also challenge myself, not just because culture makes it like they care about quantity over quality.
Yeah,
It feels like it's just
totally.
like pumping out
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
And back in the day, it took people like 5 years to make albums.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you would work it for 3 years. Now
Yeah.
it's like you spend whatever, a year on a record, some of us, and then it's after 4 weeks, they're like, what else you got?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're like,
I know.
Can I not take a
I just had a
minute?
baby,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
and
you're like, can we?
I need a break.
Take some time. To
Yeah.
so I'm
really-
trying to make an album not as fast as I can, but without thinking too much about
Yeah.
it.
Okay. I like
and
that.
then we're gonna do that like in the next 2 months, and then
Oh my God.
February I go to Europe, travel, do a tour there, and then I go to China. I think
Wow.
So fun.
She's a
Yeah.
jet setter.
I'm trying,
my
you know,
gosh.
and then hopefully I'll do some more shows in the U.S.
Yeah, I know. We're like, we're sad we missed.
Yeah.
This most recent
And we like-
But I'm
Just
thinking
missed
of
it.
maybe doing some like holiday shows, maybe even in Vegas,
Ooh.
like a holiday,
Holiday
like
spectacular.
kind of like just,
Nice
you know,
holiday spectacular.
getting
I love
my
it.
like Judy Garland on,
Oh,
like
yeah.
ladies and
Oh.
gentlemen, like just get drunk and do some Christmas
Christmas songs?
songs.
Oh.
I need it.
It'll
Yeah,
be fun.
I need it.
Yeah.
We'll be back for that.
Yeah.
We'll be back for that.
Definitely.
100%. Oh my
So
god.
that's me. What about you guys? Just
This.
We're looking forward to the season being over and taking a little bit of a break.
Like, I don't know. I just need to get through this weekend.
Yeah.
And then I'll think about what's next. But definitely for everyone listening, we will have in our podcast bio and
Yeah.
on Instagram in our bio, we'll have links to all of Nia's
Thank
music
you.
so that you can
Appreciate
go
that.
check it out because I think we just found your new favorite artist.
Yeah.
And all of our fans in Europe will share the dates so that you can go.
I'm so
These tickets are in
grateful.
hot demand. So
Thank you guys, and
get
I'm
there.
like, it's fun to meet new friends and do shit together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I know
I'm
it
excited.
feels so like serendipitous that we're just like, okay, what are you doing? Nothing tomorrow? Come on the pod.
I mean, and I was on a other podcast with 2 guys, and it's like, I'm much more fun than that. So thank you for that.
It's just fun. We're just girls being girls here.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Just chat and
I love
have
it.
fun.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for
thank
coming
you
on.
so
This was so much fun.
Thank you guys.
And we'll do this again.
Yeah,
let's
for your next
definitely-
album release.
Yeah, let's definitely do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
can't
cool.
wait.
We'll meet back in Vegas.
Yeah,
maybe.
perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Deal.
Well, I'll be here again for this next year, of course.
I guess that's
Yeah.
true. I know. Or we'll have them fly us out for the next race.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
that's the goal.
perfect.
365
I know.
days, we've got it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.